All right, today we're going to be discussing a wonderful duo, Cypress and Sandalwood. And they're sharing a video, but that doesn't mean that either of them is not as exciting and important and worth a long lesson. But I just want to kind of whet your appetite, get your wheels turning, maybe help you get interested in researching these on your own. It's been fun for me learning because Cypress, for example, we'll talk about first, is an oil that I have underutilized. I've given it to mechanics because it helps get any greasy gunk off your hands really quick, and it has kind of a manly scent. It's just, I would describe it as being extremely fresh and clean, but it definitely woodsy and herbaceous. The other thing we've used Cypress for is it can help your bladder relax and expand a little bit more. And so a lot of people say that if they have people with bedwetting, nocturnal enuresis, that putting a little bit of Cypress over their bladders, or if you're on a car ride and you aren't able to get out and stop as often as you'd like, using that to help you have a longer capacity before you need to urinate. So Cypress. Other uses, I know some people like to put a little on their toothbrush and use it for their mouth because it's really refreshing and cleansing. But just like all these oils, you go look them up and see the many uses. And it's so strange, actually, because if you grew up like me with just like the Western medicine where you go and get an over-the-counter prescription, it has one main use that it's intended for, and health issues that it addresses, and that's all it's for. And then you go looking at oils and they're all, oh yeah, it's used for this and this and this and this, and some of them seem unrelated. So some of the fascinating ones I found, well, Cypress for Chinese valued it for the benefits to the liver and the respiratory system. Here's a picture of a cypress tree, and as I was looking up videos on YouTube and things like that and finding out what a cypress is, I understand that they're all over the place. There's lots of them in Arizona. We're looking at what would be like the Mediterranean cypress, and that would have been imported and used for different things in the Holy Lands, but you will see them growing in America. People enjoy them for privacy. Here's a picture that shows kind of what they look like for privacy hedges, because they can grow really tall, really fast. Also, in ancient times, it was associated with mourning, and we find these put in the landscaping in cemeteries very commonly. So I think that's interesting. So there is a kind called bald cypress, which is a deciduous conifer. I didn't know there was such a thing. So that actually does lose its needle-like leaves. You're probably all familiar with cypress. You might just not know what it's called. If you see a picture of like a Tuscan landscape, those tall trees that are kind of like, they're shaped like ginkgos, but they don't have leaves. They have this kind of like, anyway, okay, I'm not gonna dwell on that too much, but cypress is a really interesting plant, and specifically about the historical, like the spiritual side of it and the emotional side. It's kind of the one that says to let go of the perfection paralysis and go with the flow. It's nicknamed the oil of motion and flow, for graceful transitions, and to just accept what is, somewhat to allow yourself to adapt. I'm going to read in this book: inner peace, sensitivity, self-control, balance, patience and willpower and direction, course correction. A lot of this makes me think about water and flow and like rivers, and so it can help relieve muscle cramps. That makes sense. and improve overall circulation, reduce cellulite, strengthen connective tissue. So it helps it helps ease the feeling of loss, creates a feeling of security and grounding, and healing emotions. So it is just an interesting oil for all of those different things. Let's see, cypress is also very powerful for creating energetic flow and emotional catharsis. So if you're feeling stagnant or stuck or inflexible, you know, sometimes we feel like, oh, we need a change. I need to stop going through this pattern. I need to be able to look at this differently. You know, you want change, but you don't know how to do it or like where to start. So this can help give you that coaching, that message to your mind and your spirit, and to say you don't have to be hard driving, and you don't have to fear and want to control everything, but you can allow things to unfold naturally and allow things to happen and not be stuck in a comfortable area, you know, but to go ahead and continue and trust things moving forward in life. So I think that's a little taste of the oil of cypress, and if you can smell it, and you've learned something new, and that you might want to pursue learning more. And then I'm going to share with you sandalwood next. And sandalwood is the oil that just is probably really, really famous. It's got a lot of health benefits, and it is a little bit like frankincense in the way it has a lot of sesquiterpenes and can help with inflammation and bringing oxygen into your pineal and pituitary glands and helping you to think clearly. But it's also known as the oil that with spiritual connection that helps you, what I would say is with reverence, with just a sense of feeling that respect for divine. Let me get to this page here. Sandalwood. So prayer and meditation, definitely, and helps you calm the mind and prepare the spirit to commune with God. So again, similar to frankincense in that way. So it also kind of helps bring you to a place of wanting to spiritual sacrifice, letting go of material attachments, letting go of pride, and wanting to progress, wanting to do what's necessary to move forward. So if you're ready to leave behind fame, wealth, and the need for acceptance, sandalwood teaches humility, devotion, and love for the divine. I love diffusing sandalwood, especially with orange. I think that's just a beautiful combination. It really does go well with, maybe it doesn't go well with everything out there the way frankincense does. Some of the suggestions are oregano and spikenard. Interesting. Maybe we'll do spikenard another time. That's a very interesting oil. So for people that are feeling like they're overthinking and they're uptight and they're disconnected from God, sandalwood could be a good oil. I think it smells really beautiful too. And it's definitely been valued and used throughout the, centuries with perfume. And I do know a little bit about the sourcing of sandalwood. It grows in certain different parts of the world, but Hawaiian and Indian. We don't source it from India anymore because there were sustainability issues, but the Hawaiian sandalwood, really fascinating. This is a tree that was really valued for furniture and also incense, different things. And the Chinese and the Hawaiians were having kind of a trade war kind of a thing going on, and the Chinese were going to take it by force, and the Hawaiians burned shiploads full of sandalwood prepared for export, and also destroyed their forest to avoid having it being taken. And so after these trees lay on the forest floor for over 100 years, we're now able to go and harvest them and get the oil while working to regrow that forest and put new plants in. And there's cool videos out there that I can share with you if you want to learn more about that. But it is definitely extraordinary that a lot of work goes into procuring this oil for us. And I think that is a symbolism of that idea of the sacrifice and working to achieve something really special, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. So let's see, sandalwood is high in sesquiterpenes, increases the amount of oxygen to the pineal and pituitary glands, helps you with your attitude. So it's really one that's popular as an antidepressant and removing negative programming from the cells of the body, and helps you accept others with an open heart, diminishing their egocentricity. So that's another really good way to explain it. Isn't this fun? Isn't this neat? We're talking about new and different things that for some of us with essential oils. And what a great time as we are trying. You know, Christmas is special because it's when so many people are really trying to open their hearts and to do something, to go through these outward celebrations and traditions in order to intentionally help us to draw closer to the Savior and behave in ways that we be pleasing to Him, and in serving others and loving others. But isn't it interesting that all the commercialism and the hustle and bustle and the feeling like, okay, we need to do this, we need to have this experience for the kids, or we need to do this because we do it every year, we need to go around and do that. But yet, so many of these oils, including cypress and sandalwood, seem to be bringing this message, at least to me, of saying, chill out and just relax and enjoy, and you know, don't be stressed out and uptight and trying to control everything. So that's an interesting thought for us all to ponder this time of year, isn't it? Thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to any of your questions that you want to ask.